Welcome back to another episode of Black Ice Reality Check. I'm your host, Black Ice. We have a special guest in the house, Maria Carla Cadotte. Cadotte, okay. Is that Filipino?
No, it's actually French.
Okay, I'm not even going to go there. That's a good one, okay? No, yeah. and we've been trying to get on the show for a long time, get you on the show, about a year, right?
Yes.
You've been busy. Hold on, this is going. I want to make sure I don't play that live because you've been busy with photo shoots. Your publicist had you all over. I think the last time we talked was like 6 months ago.
Yes.
4 months, 6 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about your background. You're Filipino. Mm-hmm. Were you born in the U.S.?
I was born in the U.S. Yes, my father is Filipino, French, and Spanish, and then my mother's Filipino and Chinese. So they met in the Philippines, but as like young kids, but then they reunited when they were actually in college. And so I was born here.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you live currently in Orange County?
Yeah, Orange County in LA.
Okay. You and your friend here got here, going 100 miles an hour through the snow, right?
Yeah. Well, I slept because she understood I had a really full day, and that's why we make a great team.
Okay, good deal. So you guys are like best buds right now, right?
Yes.
Partners in crime? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell people what you do. I was reading your Instagram. Mm-hmm. You're a psychic reader. Is that the proper title? And what else do you do? You do a lot of modeling, photo shoots. What is your primary source of income? Like, what do you do for a living? What is it about you that makes you so successful?
Well, actually, my psychic mediumship work is the primary source of my income. So I work with clients from all over the world. I don't take in-person sessions, only Zoom, unless I'm doing like big corporate events. I have certain celebrity clientele that I do, go to their home because, that's a different situation. And so that is my primary source of income. I appear on radio shows, television shows, everything in between. I cater mostly to, a lot of business people, multi-million-dollar business deals, et cetera. And also, I work on things like murder cases, missing persons cases. So I've partnered up and worked with LA Sheriff's Department, LAPD. Yeah, I'm not like a little card reader, et cetera. Right?
Wow. So you really
different.
work with like the police and the federal agencies and
I've
stuff
worked
like that?
with just mostly through Los Angeles because I know people personally through there. So I've assisted with a couple of things there. I've worked on unresolved murder cases for like, private clients, personal families, depending what it is, missing person cases, as well for people where they have a loved one who's disappeared or maybe perhaps deals with addiction.
So my buddy David has a show here called 702 Problem Solvers. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of promoting your show, David. He has psychics on there, but they investigate crimes, right?
Yes.
So people call in and they're like, "Hey, we're missing people remember the people that were found in the lake in Lake Mead?" Mm-hmm. And so he has all these shows. He's an ex-police officer out of New York. He works with all the law firms here. I'll connect you with David because I think it'd be great for you to be on that show.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And actually, I'll be honest, those are kind of my favorite, types of cases. I deal with a lot of love, relationships, types of questions. And for myself personally, I like the more exciting things. I'm not going to lie.
What's exciting though?
Well, I also do energy clearing and energy work. So I love working on places where we are talking about haunted buildings, places where there's like
bizarre junkies. That's another one.
Okay.
I'm giving you guys too many props. He's in the other room.
Oh, okay, lovely.
I'm gonna do the introduction. So you get a lot of screen time here.
Yeah, cases where there's poltergeist type of activity. Those types of things are my favorite because I like a challenge. I like things to be different and out of the norm from what I'm used to doing. Yeah. I've worked with people that are in comas, right? So everything in between, there's really kind of no limitation. And, Jen knows as well, and I joke, I go, I was like, I had a shady past. I go, sometimes you can't escape the ghosts of ghetto past. And I do admit I even have mobsters, people that I've had to help people track down people that owe very large sums of money to people, right? And so I get excited from it. But the first time I did it, I remember somebody contacted me from Spain and the case he had. And I go, okay, this guy literally has the resources and money to have me offed if I'm wrong. And I remember being like,
Did you find the person?
I did. And he's been my client for 7 years now. And so, obviously he's pleased.
Wow.
But it's funny.
I don't know you any money, do I?
No, but I remember saying to a good friend, and I said, okay, I know this case wouldn't be given to me. And I was like, how'd you even find me?
That is crazy.
Yeah, but I like, these things excite me. I've always been somebody that's up for a challenge and looking to grow in whatever way it may be. So
that is crazy.
It's what I attract because it's, what I enjoy, I suppose.
So now you talk about relationships and dating, which I focus on, right? I'm in the red pill space.
Yeah,
and I know you know Michael Sartain and Rolo.
Yes.
Were you on the show last night?
I was supposed to be, but then, unfortunately, I had a medical emergency and just I was in.
You had something to take care of. That's fine. That's personal. I get it.
And I feel terrible because I was.
You got to
so
stop beating up guys in the street and going to the hospital, right? What's the deal?
No, I've calmed down on a lot of my behaviors now, and I joke because I know
she is Filipino.
I know. I know too many people the LA Sheriff's Department. I go, if I start doing that again, they're going to be like, "Look, you're 41. Like, are you still doing this? Haven't you learned? Like, aren't you a bit older?"
Yeah. Now I'm getting this. I'm getting this energy. You're like a September person, baby.
Oh yes,
right?
I'm a Libra.
I'm psychic. I'm not. I'm just kidding. I do my research. I'm a Libra too, but I don't go with signs. I'm not a sign guy. Yeah. I'm just. But yeah, you're September, baby. Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
Indeed, I am.
Yeah, that's good. So let's talk about do you focus on relationships and dating in terms of coaching, or what do you do in that area?
I do in the sense of an energy work, but the interesting approach that I have, it is very different from most women. For example, I know I don't alter or change who I am. I'm a very strong personality, and I believe in accountability. So there are times, and it's very rare because there have been clients that have been like, oh, she's too crass. But I, as a woman, will tell a woman, or a man, because as an intuitive, I can see what they are doing wrong. If you want to attract a certain type of partner, you need to be willing to be at the level that meets that or what that type of person wants. And a lot of people go, I want this person to complete me. I want these different things. But they are not doing the self-work to be able to be willing to receive that, right? Meaning that if you want a man of a certain quality as a woman, then you need to be able to work on those things that are the barriers to a man like that wanting you, seeing the value in you, right? And so with my clients, what I'll often say is I'll go first and foremost to women, and it's not a popular thing. I go, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. And my approach
So you're not Steve Harvey. That's good.
Oh, yeah, never. And I'll say to them, okay, first and foremost, let me ask you, why is it that you want to, or you're so fixated on this idea of a life partner or soulmate? I say, because if you are coming from a place of lack, that you feel you need something or someone to complete you, you're always going to attract from that type of vibration or that type of state of being. Now, if you're coming as a complete whole, where you have nothing but self-love for yourself, then you can offer value to a partner in a different way, and you will attract somebody that's also complete and whole in themselves. And I go, and people get caught up in that, oh, well, I won't want a partner then at that point. I said, no, when I attracted my partner, that was the state of being that I was in. He was in that state of being, right? And so the communication from the beginning, the way that the relationship went, both of us were known for being non-committal or being single for long periods of time.
How long were you single for?
For about 3.5 years.
So you just recently, so prior to this.
Yeah, prior to this relationship. Okay. And so, but at that state, even Jen knew, and I was joking with her and saying, I'm so happy, my life is so great as it is. I said, I could not imagine a partner coming into my life unless they are going to be, and I listed all these various qualities.
What are the qualities?
Well, I said, I want somebody who, their income is in a certain amount of range, that there's somebody that understands and can accept the lifestyle that I live, which is not an easy one for men to sometimes deal with, that they can be secure, they can realize and understand, they allow me to be me, but that there's somebody, a man that I respect so much, and that he holds authority in a way not of control, but in that I as a woman will set aside the masculine aspects of myself, and I can step into my feminine and allow him to lead because I trust him to, I feel safe in his presence, and that's what I want him to do, right? Because I don't care how strong a woman is, and when you're like, oh, blah, 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 I can do it myself. Yes, absolutely. I know that I can. I own 2 great vehicles on my own. One's fully paid off. My mortgage is 80% paid off. I'm ready for a second property. I came as a complete package, and I understand that. But I understand the value of a partner who also can add to my life, who can teach me, who can bring these different things, right? And I was always open to that. It was just, they have to be able to be someone that I could respect this much, that I saw him that much as a man, and that all that he was would cause me to be able to step back as a woman and be a woman, right? Because some strong women go, oh, I didn't, no.
Yeah,
right.
and the term, like women say I'm an independent, strong woman, that's not even a flex. Independent, you're supposed to pay your own bills.
Yeah, you should
supposed
be. But so many.
But they use that as a flex. But you never hear a man say, "I'm a strong, independent man."
Yeah, that's an expectation.
You're supposed to be an adult. Like if
you are, exactly.
But and men, we really don't care too much about your finances or what you make. But when women say that, and I tell women, it's harder to be a woman of strength. Than a strong-headed woman, because any woman can be strong-headed.
Yes.
That's bullish. That's masculine.
Exactly.
But to be a woman of strength, he's leading.
Yes.
Right? You're
always. And that's what a woman wants, in my opinion.
So you see the dynamic. So this trend I see, I'm an independent, strong woman. It's like, well, that's not even a flex.
Yeah.
That's a sign of weakness, because you have to say that because you're feeling that you're lacking something in your life. And I don't honestly believe that we were meant to be alone as humans. I don't believe, people say, I'm fine being alone. It's like, really? I don't really believe that 100%. I mean, you can be alone. You can operate it by yourself. You can pay your own bills. But honestly, most people say that, but I think there's some psychological challenges from the past, bad relationships, they got burned, they saw divorces in their family, abuse, whatever, physical, sexual abuse. Something's happened to trigger a person to say, I'm fine being alone. Even as a man, right? I can be alone, but I don't like to be single. Yeah. I like to be in relationships. Now, you can say, well, that's because you have a traumatic past. Well, fine. I've been in a healthy relationship almost 5 years. So I'm fine with it. I'd rather be, because in this modern day society of dating, what's going on with the social media, all the stuff happening, it's very challenging. It's a chess match to date. It's not checkers. Before, you
that's so funny, because that's literally what
it's strategy. I mean, I had a whiteboard out.
Yeah.
I'm a business guy. I look like, Dexter's Laboratory, right? I'm in there, because guys are like, what's the cheat code? And what's the formula? I have certain things that help men get better outcomes, and women as well. But, from experience, anecdotal data, and then some empirical data, but I see the challenges that men deal with. And whether you want to look at it or not, I'm looking at your friend because she's here. She's our audience. We got one audience member. Give it up for the audience, right? So it is a game, not a game with a person's life, but it's a game and a strategy game on how you can pair up with the person that you're interested in that's interested in you. How do you find that mate? That's the $1 million question. It's like for men, if there was a real drug that could grow men's hair back, it'd be like Viagra when Viagra came out. We all knew when Viagra came out, there's people that have problems.
Yes.
And when that came out, that people invested in that and made billions of dollars. Well, we know that if you can find the cheat code, if it came in a can or a bottle and said, this is the steps you need to take, and nothing's perfect. Everything's a one-off. Everything's different. Everything's, but here's what the majority of women are looking for. You said it, resources. She brought it up. He had to have a certain income. So resources, that's biological, right? And men, it's like looks first. That's not the only thing. You're not just about the money.
Yes, of course.
And I think when I have a woman on here that has her shit together, fairly attractive, and then they say, oh, she's just about money. No, biologically, women, the first thing they look for in a man is resources, because it's an inherent biological need for reproduction, safety, provider, protector. Guys, it's like looks, and then women say, well, you're so shallow.
No.
And it's like, why do I have standards that are shallow and yours aren't? So I say, okay, here's what I'm looking for in looks. Then I go through the bottom list, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost polar opposite for guys and girls. So if I go through McDonald's and I see a hot Latina girl, I could date her. But a woman, if you saw a Chad, if you were driving, not that you go to McDonald's. She's like, I don't go to McDonald's. Okay, we've all went through McDonald's. We're running late. We got to go. Trust
right? Me now. I know.
And the fries are the fries are the worst for you, but they're really good.
Oh, she knows. She knows that I'm like, girl, we ain't got no time. We got to grab something for sustenance. I need calories to just get me through the next.
Right, but if you're going through McDonald's, and be honest, and the guy's like a stud. Man, he's like, you can see the veins in his arms. He's 6 feet tall. He's got six-pack abs. You wouldn't go on a date with him. You would not go on a date with him. Am I right?
If I see him, I mean, if it depends.
You said resources.
It depends. Now, if they're in LA, there can be the ones that look like that,
She's
and you can look
at
the shoes. No, but you can look at but okay, is he someone who's on the go, and I can look at the shoes, the car, and I'm like, okay,
you can't see
have all that.
But you can't see shoes.
You can't see him.
He's working at the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Oh, working. I thought you said going to.
No, he's at the drive-thru.
Working. No, not working. Absolutely not. No, I'm very honest.
Okay,
absolutely
so guys, we're like
absolutely not.
Oh, she's hot. Guys will date her.
Yes.
Because we don't care about the money. Mm-hmm. We have our money. Some guys, right?
Yes.
So a highly desirable, high-valued man, he's got options.
Oh, absolutely.
Highly desirable woman has options. It's very attractive. So you have to know how to navigate the game.
Yes.
And so many guys and so many women both make mistakes. But when guys make mistakes, we own our mistakes. We know the level we're at. I know what I was capable of getting or what I can get. Mm-hmm. And certain guys know if they're 5'4", bald and fat, they know they're not going to get a dime. They just know that. Unless they're Jeff Bezos.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, unless.
And then he got the Latina wife, new one. And then he got on HGH and testosterone replacement.
Yes.
I'm assuming. I'm not saying that, but look at him. You know, he's buff. He's kind of, he's hot. Yeah, a few $1 billion, you're kind of cute. Right? Elon Musk. Not an attractive dude, but if he asked you out, you'd be like, let me think about it. Dude, he's not that attractive, but a few $1 billion, he's kind of cute because there's resources.
Absolutely.
Guys, unless she's like a multi-millionaire woman and he wants a sugar mama, it's a different
Oh, and I see that too in LA, you know? I see it all, absolutely.
Right. So you're limited there too. It's like, well, she's, she looks like Jeff Bezos, but she's got a couple $1 billion. Right?
She's laughing because we know all about this. We talked about it.
You talked about it.
We talked about it in the car on the drive.
Am I right? Talk to me. I can take the hard questions.
That's what I'm saying. I love it though. No, because it's funny because actually the whole thing you said about we're playing chess here, not checkers, that was something that my partner and I literally were discussing just like the other night, like in text, like we were discussing those types of things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's easier for a woman to date than a man.
Yes.
You guys had value at 18 years old. You had value. You have value. We have to earn our value.
Yes.
Like, because the young guys don't make money. Once we get up to the millions of dollars and we're fit, we have money, muscle, game, and frame. Here's our frame and our boundaries. This is my rules of engagement. I don't care how fine you are. I remember you date up, men date down, because you're meeting a guy at your level and above, socioeconomic level above. You want to be smarter, taller, make more money, be more successful, be a leader. You're dating up. So I have to teach these guys, listen, you're dating, and not in a condescending way, but you're dating down. She's looking at you and above. So if you have to have a frame. Here's your standards. Tell her up front. Don't be afraid for her to walk away. Men are so afraid because of the lack of abundance of women. You have an abundant supply. Opposite issue. You have too much abundance. You guys get watered down with DMs from guys. Good, bad, or negative. Like sometimes you're like, dude, you shouldn't have sent me that. I get it. And then other times it's like, hey, baby, what's up? It's like, dude, that's the best you got. Guys got to raise their bar. So all these guys sending DMs. And then what goes in your mind is, I wouldn't date a guy from Instagram. So then a guy comes up to you in the store, right? I'm saying you as in general. He comes up and talks to you, even if you're single. A lot of people, this guy's at Safeway trying to talk to me. This guy's at the gym trying to talk to me. This guy's sending me a DM. Well, how are men supposed to talk to you? So then what happens is you now overvalue yourself and say, all these guys want me. And now you end up sitting back going, I want Chad, 10 million a year, 6-pack abs, 6 feet tall, has a Ferrari, has a house in Malibu, has a house in Orange County and Laguna Beach, right? And then you got to ask yourself, well, 90% of the women are going after the same Chad. Why would he pick you? So there's this reverse opposite. And then you have the average guy that makes $47,000 a year in America. Look at her. She's shocked. Oh.
Yeah, because I didn't even make that when I was 18. I'm like, how could people live on that? But yes.
Because we're not including, most of America is not LA, Orange County, Seattle, San Francisco, New York.
All the places.
Average American.
Average American.
You got a nice guy that says, I don't know her. What was your name again? Jennifer. Are you single? Okay. Nice guy. Drives a Honda. Has a decent job. Makes 60 grand a year. Just stud, right? Now you're in Orange County. 100K is poverty.
We had this conversation. Yes,
it's a fact.
It's a fact in Orange County.
If you make 100K, you're in the poverty category. I'm not saying you're living on the street, but it's tough,
County,
right?
Yes.
That guy probably doesn't have a shot to date you. Because if you're saying long-term, in 2 to 5 years, you want to get married and have children, you know that this guy's not the guy.
Yes.
And so I tell women in their 20s or whatever, the guy that they want is going to be about 40 years old. I don't want to get a 40-year-old. I'd probably be too old for you. I'm 54. I don't want to date a 54-year-old. I met my girl when she was 26. I was 48 years old. I didn't go looking for her. I didn't go on 26 and 20s, date 20-year-old hotties.com. I didn't meet her like that. And when she started talking to me, I said, you're too young. I told her that because I've been down that road. You know the guys in California going through the midlife with their hot car and the young chick, and she's on there doing this in the car, you know, doing her feet, or, you know, and you're like, oh, that poor bastard, he's gonna lose all his money. And she's a headache. There's a lot of girls like that, right? There is. Last week I saw her in the convertible Lambo, and the week before she was in a Rolls Royce. She's got 10 pictures in Dubai and Playa del Carmen. That's the LA girl, not you. Yes. I'm talking about the ones I've seen. It's like, okay, I would date you, but I wouldn't take you serious.
Exactly, yes.
So when this girl came along, first thing I did, this is what men do. You ready? Successful men. I look at her IG. I said, okay, she has a basic bitch IG. Food, meal preps, nothing super sexy. Okay. She lives in Tucson. Check number 2, small town. She didn't know what 6 figures was. The best color specialist for hair for women in all of Arizona. Women were flying in from LA all over the world going to see her. She's Latina. She was born in Mexico. She has family values. She doesn't know what boss be. What is that? What is boss bitch? What is this? I was like, okay, she was cute. I said, that's a girl that I can mentor, bring up, elevate her, teach her what I know in business and success. Bring her game up, you know, went to Beverly Hills, got the veneers from the doctor that's on every one of your guys' IG that has his veneers on there. Went and saw him.
Our good friend.
Right.
That's our very, Right.
Who
is it? I forgot now. Because Marty was a...
I want to say Amir, but that's probably not it.
Yes.
And then got these done, right? And then she's a fitness girl. She competes. It's like, whoa, where'd you find her? Like she came out of a box. Does she have a sister? It's like, no, you cannot, look, her IG now, if I saw it and I was single, I wouldn't date her. I'd be like, oh, no. Because, you know, she's sexy. She's on there doing fitness stuff, and she's doing her outfit. She's on the strip, you know, in the little, you know, cougar outfit, she's her name Puma, the little outfit. So the point is this, guys will look for a certain standard, but guys that don't have access to resources have to settle and take what they can get. Yeah. You don't have to take what you can get. You don't have to take what you can get. You guys have the power, but men control access to dating and marriage. You control access to what? Sex, right? So for guys, how do guys meet women at your level and your level?
Well, I mean, part of like what worked with my partner and I is we actually had been like friends on Facebook for probably about 15, 16 years. We were in the same industries, but we never had met formally. We met at a fashion show and event of a mutual friend of ours. And it was actually somebody that he had gone out with a couple times years before. They stayed friends. They're cool with each other because in LA, everything is very small. When you even go into
small. It is small.
And even going into our relationship, he and I both being people who are very, very well known within certain scenes, we had these discussions. Okay, if it does not work between us, how will we go about it? How will we navigate these different things, right? Because he was somebody who is very well known within these industries. I'm somebody also too that a lot of people know. And so for us, it's a little different. He never minded my, Instagram being the way that it is, those types of things, right? Those are things that for him was a non-issue. He gets the way it is. More so for us, it was like Jen knew, and she said, when we first began talking and dating, she said, he observes you, and I see how he watches you at events. He knows that you have to be a little flirty.
So she's watching him while he's watching you.
Yeah, and she goes, he's observing
Jen, what are you doing?
No, because she's my little watchdog, and he knows it. Like, I'll say it openly, and we laugh about it. And he goes, absolutely. He said, because when I was determining, he's like, I knew that I liked you, I respected you, and I saw you as somebody that I could have a serious relationship with. He said, so I needed to be sure. I needed to observe you and how you conduct yourself in public with your image, with your networking, and how that would reflect upon me, and if you would be respectful in our relationship, given how, things work in LA and in Hollywood within those particular social
How long
circles.
You guys been together?
We have been together for about 6 months now.
6 months, okay. So that's good. That's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we've at our ages, he's already in his 50s, and I'm, 41.
She's making me sound old. What the hell is that? At our ages?
I mean,
You're
because
fired.
he's been through divorce, everything in between. Like, I mean,
Have you been married before?
I have been engaged multiple times, and then the last time I exited again. So
any children?
No.
Okay, so are you planning on?
that's something that we did have to discuss because he does want to still have other children. And so we do know the timelines in which we would be actively working on things like that.
Okay,
right?
she's going to be the nanny.
So we have discussed that timeline. And so those were things we had to have serious talks about. Okay, well, I have certain goals and things I want to accomplish within, X amount of time before I could consider that. And so being the way that we are, okay, if I have something that is not even a problem or something that I'm looking at, he has a solution, right? He is a man. I trust his judgment. I trust the way that he leads. I'm very teachable in regards to him.
So you guys are serious?
Oh, yes.
So have you guys talked about moving in together?
We've talked about all of those things, like how soon we would get married, how soon we would be trying to have kids, because he and I have discussed that at my age, if he wants to have additional children,
he's got to get busy.
Yes.
Wow. So you guys you guys planned this out.
Yeah, because we're both the way that we work, it's strange. Even Jen knows, people are always like, you two share a similar brain, right? So people who know us, when we first got together, it was one of those things that Jen even was like, oh my God, the first time we made it very public at an event together, literally she's like, about 25 people have come up to me or we're like, are they together? Is that who Carla's dating now? And so people have always been
all guys,
men and women both. Well, no, because even for him,
the women were asking if they wanted her too.
Well, there's a lot of women. In LA works a certain way. You have resources. You're all this stuff.
Right.
So we deal with, especially in the beginning. There would be hundreds, and I mean, women in their 20s, beautiful women, all playmates, all whatever, that are messaging him, trying to whatever.
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. Is he a millionaire? Yes. He's a millionaire. Just say it.
Yes.
Okay. My point. Okay. And that's not a knock. I get it. I get it. And that's why I tell people, man, look, if you're going to be in LA, you want to have a family, you want to have a wife that has the option not to work, right? She can be at home, do Pilates, do yoga, do workout, do photo shoots. And I'm not saying you don't work. Mm-hmm. She has the option. You have kids, you have help. The nanny, right?
Yeah,
help.
Because that was one of the conditions I wanted. If
she's going to go, I better ask for a pay raise now.
No, Jen knows, because I was because I told him, I said, this is the way it would have to be.
But but to do that in LA,
yes,
to do it right,
yes,
500 minimum?
Minimum, probably close to 5, 6.
5 to 6.
5 to 6.
And that's if you live in a decent area, a super safe area. You got to at least make $1 million a year to afford HOAs, the area you're living in. And LA's not as safe as it was, because the nice areas people are getting.
Yeah, like Bel Air and stuff. He is still very safe because.
Oh, if he's in Bel Air, he's a millionaire. He's past a millionaire. Yeah, he's got more than 1 million. Yeah, easy. Bel Air, I know people that live there. Yeah, see, so you're doing it right. So you guys are ready to go. So the question is, when's the marriage, and am I invited? Where's the ring? Where's the ring?
That was the funny thing. Was we were just.
I'm putting pressure on him. I don't know his name. I'm like, dude, you better step up. No, I'm just kidding.
Because even with Jen, I said, this is so strange. Because everybody did kind of freak out, and they're like, because women were like, what's so special about her? What's so whatever? But the way he put it to me, when we first got together, he said, you get it. He said, I don't have the time or the energy. He goes, I have too many options. He said, so I don't care.
Say that again. He said, what did the millionaire tell you?
He said he had too many options, so he didn't care to find a woman that he has to tell how to act. If you don't know it, if you don't know how to be a woman, the role to be the kind of woman for him, he's not even going to teach you. You're just gone. You're cut.
I hope you guys understand what she just said. This is the first woman in a long time that came on this podcast that was real. If men have options, they don't have to deal with it. And this is the funny thing. This is the funny thing. I see women say this. Mm-hmm. Oh, they can't handle a strong-headed woman. They can't handle me. They don't want a successful woman. We don't have to. We don't have to. We have options. We don't need to deal with that. Why do I want to come home and deal with a bossy, masculine, corporate, successful woman? I don't need that. And I don't want to have to teach you how to act.
I'm there to be his piece, period.
And that's why with the younger girl, I was like, no, because I'm not going to have to tell her how to act, but she can carry herself in public. I won't be embarrassed. She's not grabbing the air with her fingernails like this. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? What's this? What are you doing? And having the attitude. She was already conditioned by her family.
Yes.
You were conditioned because of the around elite type of individuals in business and success and interaction, your social interaction with successful people, so you already know how to act.
Yeah.
So if I was going to a formal dinner, I don't need to tell her what to dress, even though she say, which dress should I wear? And I'll tell her, and then she won't wear that.
Like me.
And then she won't wear that dress.
I'll ask her, what do you think is the best?
I'll go downstairs, come back, it's like, what are you wearing? She's like, oh, well, then why did you ask me? So I trick her, and I say, wear that one. That one? And then I come upstairs, and she has the dress on I want.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because literally in the car just now, I send him a picture. I go, and he goes, honey, that's great. That color will pop. It's beautiful. Never wear these colors. Because I value and care about his opinion. And also he works in entertainment. He knows, so there's things, but
there's the connection.
Like, there's a big thing there. Yeah. I mean, like, as far as our lives, they fit together well. We're both always on the go. But the things we have to attend, the events, the things we have to do, they are ones that consist of stuff that both of us could be at and benefit from. Right. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, even like Jen knows, he knows everybody, when I show up in that place, everybody, if I'm not with him, everybody's like, hey, where's Carla? Where's your other half? Right? We understand how I know that my role, like both of us have very public images, is to be an asset to each other. I would never act in a way that could possibly ever make some other man in that event, in any venue, any place, with or without him, think that they can have me. Right? To protect his image and to make sure that I am only going to enhance that is absolutely from the very beginning been of top priority to me. And that's the way he is with me. He wants nothing more than to see me shine. Like, even Jen knows that she's like, that man he is so proud of you in everything that you do, all that you are. He invests in my future. He has made me better in so many ways. He has taught me a lot of things, refined me. Right. And so why, as a woman, would I want to give anything but peace and happiness and joy to that man? Why? For what? Like, I see the options he has, and I can be secure in that because I know the way that he is.
So this is a key thing you just said. Okay, I don't know, realize what you just said. You see the options he has. Mm-hmm. When a woman knows that a man, and I say this without being derogatory towards you as an individual or a woman, when a woman knows she's replaceable, she falls in line. And when I say that is because a lot of the guys I see that are having problems in the relationship, they feel like, and I don't want to say this in a derogatory statement or way, but the women know that they're not replaceable. They know that that's his only option. Mm-hmm. He has other options. You see the other options.
Of course.
But he respects you. He doesn't abuse that.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're like, well, I'm going to act the way you feel a woman should act. I fall in line under his leadership. He doesn't take advantage of it. He's not controlling.
No.
And see, this is where submission is agreeable cooperation. And when you say submission, women get kind of spun up, and because they've been in relationships, and the guys that really control women are generally the guys that don't have options.
Yes.
Because they're afraid to lose that woman.
Exactly. That's the truth. Because he even said, he goes, look, I'm not worried. He goes, that if you do certain things, you lose me, and that's it. And he goes, I know what value he knows what value I offer. If he does certain things, he loses me. And so that's it. He doesn't try to do anything I don't control. And we both know you can't control people, but we both also know the value of each other to one another. Right. So that's it.
Yeah.
Period. And at the end of the day, like, I just have so much respect, and admiration for him as an individual. All things aside, aside from like loving somebody and just, all of the other things, right? At the end of the day, I see him as a man. And to myself, like, I treat him as such because he is that. He's an amazing father. He's a great businessman. Absolutely.
How old are his kids?
His kids are much older.
Okay, so they're out of the house.
Out of the house. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. We still see them every single week. Most of them go to college close by. But, that's, none of them, I mean, they have rooms in his home.
No.
So
I'm going to go deeper here. Now I'm going to go on a touchy subject. Let's see how she handles it. Okay. Jen, you think she can handle it? I like talking to Jen because she's off the camera. So she's over there smiling. Okay. This is a fact.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this is him. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about this, and man, women get spun up so bad. But here's the thing. I'd rather be, I go by Black Ice, but Daverick Lyles. I'd rather be Daverick Lyles than Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you the truth. 99.9% of high-valued men cheat.
Yes, I'm aware.
They exercise their options. I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying that given the opportunity and the options, that does not mean that they don't love who they're with, but they might go have fun. And then, what was that girl's name again? Susie? I don't remember. Here's my question. You know this. I'm not saying this is him. You know this because you're in Orange County now. My point is, and in my question, this happens. I'm not talking about you and your man.
Okay.
You know girls that are with guys that know that they're probably seen other girls, or they tell them up front. How do you view that?
I think to each its own. Whatever the relationship dynamic is between two people, if it's consenting adults, that can do whatever.
But what if you know that that's the case with high value men? How does that affect your thoughts of who you're with or what women are dating high value men?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, don't play with fire unless you're willing to take the risk to get burned, period.
First woman that gets it. And I'm not saying he'll do it, but you realize that. Here's the fact. If an average guy cheats, they're more than likely to have emotional connections because they don't have the opportunities and options. And then they get back to this point where they say, well, they're not high valued if they cheat. Well, you don't know if they're cheating. High value guys, highly desirable by a lot of women. It's a supply and demand issue. So I see these podcasters and YouTubers make these comments saying that's not a high value man. Well, you don't know. At first face value, they're high valued. You saw him, very successful, well known, high net worth individual, over 10 years plus. All his colleagues are worth millions. A lot of women are going, he's highly desirable.
Yes.
So the point is, nobody can say he's not high value because he has another girlfriend or he's doing something else. The point is they exercise options. But when I have these individuals have conversations and I tell them, I said, you need to let the woman know you're dating if you plan on seeing other people. Be honest with them because they'll respect that because at face value, they're going, he's not afraid to not date me. He's okay with it. So I tell them, say, listen, if I date you, I'm going to let you know I'm seeing other people.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with that, then don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because if you do it behind their back, that is shady.
Yeah. And then you've got somebody like me who's got a very interesting, unique quality, which is my intuitive gifts, meaning that I can,
Oh, so she's the FBI.
So, no, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I always have respected honesty above all else, but he and I have also had these kinds of conversations. We've discussed all of these different types of things. And that's why I don't get offended or worked up, or it's not a sensitive topic to me because I'm like, I don't know, to some women, it's like they have a delusion that they don't want to believe certain things. I know, and I don't disclose certain things, but I know about his previous marriage. And it was like, yes, completely monogamous for X amount of time. And then they, certain things they decided, but he was open and honest throughout towards the very end of it. And then once the kids were grown and in college, then he decided, okay, I'm
now you said you were engaged multiple times before.
Some when I was very young, like early 20s. And one of them is still, a business mentor to me in certain ways, right? And so we have stayed friends throughout the years. I'm honest about everything with my partner. We have rules. There's certain boundaries. I don't cross those. Okay. If he, he invests in multiple businesses. So there are some people that are women that he had dated before. Well, we just have certain boundaries. Okay, this is how it works, right? We keep the honest and open communication and we check in as needed if needed, right? I know all these people personally. I've met everybody. Same with him, right? Communication is a big thing. But if he were to say to me or I were to say to him, hey, I'm not comfortable with this and this is why, we will find a resolution between us or some kind of solution that does work for both. Right? Because I'm not trying to get in the way of what he has to do. He's not trying to get in the way of mine. So how do we find the respectful collaboration that allows each of us to feel comfortable and secure in this situation? And so that's one of the strengths I think we have is communication has always from the very beginning been something. And I'm a woman who I won't raise my voice to my partner. I made that
even being Filipino with a Spaniard.
It took a long time.
Took a long time. But you did that before.
Oh, I did. Absolutely. I mean, I'm Filipino. I was completely nuts. But even in this thing, it's like, and Jen knows that we have an agreement. If we start to feel that we want to raise our voices to each other, one of us exits and leaves, right? Nothing will get solved in that state of mind. And so if one is worked up. We come back when we're clear-headed and we can actually talk like adults and come to some kind of resolution.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think it was very hard for you in the past to be submissive to a man. Mm-hmm. I think as you became more mature.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
With time, you've realized that that's what has to happen in order to have a successful relationship.
And it depended on also to like the individual. Like, you know, when you are met as a woman with a man that has all these different qualities that you respect very much just from the beginning, like regardless of whether or not we went anywhere, I knew he would be somebody that I would want to be friends with and have in my life and perhaps hopefully do business with in the future. So that was always there, you know, like when we first met, we were just kind of like, okay, yeah, let's just see what happens and where it goes. We both knew, okay, if we go into this seriously, there's going to be a lot of challenges in the first few weeks with how many people know us, that we're in the same circles, our, say, reputations within, like, you know, these things. And we discussed, if anybody has something to say about the other and about their previous dating life and anything else, we will discuss it with one another, rather than to listen to any bullshit.
So before you met him, I'm going to ask you, would you have dated a guy that was not making $1 million a year?
Possibly, but the thing is that with the options that I have and what was always available to me, it's like that was always easily available. Even at my age, there were men ready to marry me.
I think
so it was
right. I think, and I'm gonna not correct you, but I'm gonna kind of add to this here. I think this is. There's always guys that are available that have millions of dollars, but whether they'd wifey you up or not is a different conversation.
Oh, yeah, and I always...
Because you knew you could have... Both of you could get on the phone right now and go have sex in an hour. Guys can't do that, but there's lots of millionaires that are always trying to date women.
And I could always see those. And I would... If I was having fun, then fine. But Jen knows, like, one thing that, you know, she's seen and she knows that I have multiple... exes I could have, whatever, that I could call up and would marry me right now, right? And so that is the thing. So he also understood what kind of...
But here's the thing, I'll say this. You know that, but you know why you're not marrying them. Because that's not an attractive quality if they're there on standby. Not that they're on standby, but it's the guy in the friend zone that's orbiting. Oh, he'll marry me. He's always there. That guy doesn't have I'm not talking about your friend. There's not a lot of backbone and alpha strength there. It's like, you know, you have to put your frame down as a man and say, listen, you had your shot. You got to be able to say no, because as a woman, the guys that you know will date you, you're not attracted to. They're just hanging around. And you know, she's like, oh, this guy, he said he'd marry me. You know, I've known him for a while. It's, you want the guy, it's like, dude, that guy, it's you know, he's talking to these girls. I'm interested in him. He's not giving me too much attention. I don't know if he even likes me, right? But if a guy comes on too strong in the beginning of the courting, and he starts texting you every 5 minutes, telling you all the time.
Well, that's not attractive in anything, no matter what. Nobody likes that. That's creepy and weird.
Right.
You know, because to me, I'm just like, are you busy? What are you doing with your life? Because I'm too busy to be dealing with my phone and text nonstop. You
know what, though?
So
But I'll say this. I'm the only guy she responds to right away. I text her, she gets back to me, right? Mm-hmm. You've always gotten back to me, right?
Yes, because when it comes to anything in regards, and also what I told you though, that's from the beginning is your presence, your energy, etc. And when it comes to anything that's related to work, to you know, all of these various things, I always make it a priority to do what I can. If I don't have my phone on me right now, that's like that.
I just texted you didn't respond. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, but. Also, too, it's like regardless of whether or not it's somebody that you're dating, that you're interested in that way, people's energy and the way that a man or a person or a woman even carries themselves, that is also going to determine how somebody treats you, I feel.
So here's what I think you should do. I think you should set your new guy. I think you should, I mean, Bel Air, he's got an extra room. He should set that up as a podcast studio for you.
Well, he has like he just purchased like a studio that does that. So I'll be
look, I got a show idea I'm going to pitch to him.
That's where my stuff has to go. I'm like, that's where all of my millions of dresses.
Okay, that's in this. There's 3 extra bedrooms. 1 bedroom for my shoes, 1 bedroom for my dresses, and 1 bedroom for my jewelry.
Well, that's where a lot of my stuff
and 1 bedroom for my makeup.
That keeps away arguments. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to go get ready in this room, and
so he has a studio. So let's pitch a show. You need to have a show.
Well, actually, that's already in the works currently. My publicist is already
there you go.
aligning with me.
So when I come to LA, have me on.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Bring
I would love that.
Right?
Yes.
I like
would.
it. That's
because
awesome.
we already have the concept, everything, and it's all, So once I'm back in town, we were just waiting for the beginning of the year. And so a lot of stuff is already in the works right now.
I like it. Now, I told Jen this in the hallway when you were busy. Hollywood's moving here. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's a great deal and I don't blame them, for multiple reasons.
So you guys might have to transition over.
Well, he did just like how I did back when I worked, in the Rhino stuff. He lived partially in Vegas for some time before, and we're kind of all over the place. So it's not.
Well, yeah, you don't live when you have that kind of impact on people's lives and influence and money. You have a home base, but you're traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. As you have options. Okay, I got to be in Dubai. I got to be in Vegas. I got to be in Seattle, London, New York. I get it. Yeah.
And we like having my condo in Orange County for now because the value, property value is going up greatly, close to the beach, and we both do a lot of business in Orange County at times, and so it's perfect to have a place to stay at there when we don't want to be in LA or we just want to get away. So that will all be sorted out later, but
that's good.
Yeah.
Sounds like everything's going good for you.
Yeah, but I mean, we've discussed all of these various things, because he did just, they're opening now like 150,000 square foot in Orange County, right? Because it's the right place to have it.
They're opening up what?
One of the, a gym that he's partnered in. So it's like a 150,000 square foot resort gym that is in Orange County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it's nice. I have a place that I'll be shooting all of my fitness content. Jen and I are able to go there, use the spa, whatever we want to do. So we are between LA and Orange County quite a bit for the most part right now. That's
good.
Yeah, so it's actually convenient. I'm out there, even though I'm in LA about 5 nights a week. And then when we are in Orange County, we're in Orange County, but we can... we're all over.
So what advice? I'm going to ask you. What advice would you give young women in their 20s right now? The mistakes you see women are making. Now you've caught it. I don't want to say you made a mistake, but you're 41. I'm sure you would have loved to have been married earlier and had children.
I couldn't. I was too wild.
There's
no way that I would have wanted to. Yeah.
But if you could have changed your mindset and been not as wild.
I think that I wouldn't trade anything in my past because everything has made me who I am today, right? And I appreciate every single part of the aspect. So I'm not.
So you think women should wait till they're in 40s?
No, I think that most women, I'll be honest, couldn't, and this is going to sound to other people. I'm just being real. I'm just very honest. Most women don't still look like me at 41 years old.
That's a fair statement.
Period.
That's a fair statement.
Period. Right? And so most women do not have the kind of options that a woman like me would have, right? I do tend to attract the men that like that. They go, look, you're ideal because you have the mentality, the maturity, et cetera, of a woman in her 40s, but you're a woman who looks like you're this age. They're like, it's the perfect, thing. So for most women, realistically speaking, I say is that, you have to, rather than focusing on the kind of partner that you want, you need to focus on becoming the kind of person that person would want to receive and have as a partner, period. And begin that from a young age.
Why do you think so many women are against that idea?
Honestly, I think that, and he and I have had this discussion, we've laughed about it, like the generational thing is I think social media plays a big role in that. I think that there are certain women, they get a lot of followers, they get these things, and they, in their mind sometimes develop a delusion that, because of some pictures, et cetera, certain things, and that I therefore can whatever, right? And he and I have had this discussion to where, okay, we know women with far more followers than me that, maybe he went out with a couple of times, whatever. Well, why didn't he choose them as a younger, et cetera, whatever, right? Because there's a difference. It's the mentality. It's like there is a gift, and Jen knows this, ability I have to network and to be able to do certain things in a certain way and to gain respect from people, collaborate with people, get people to want to bring me on board for various projects, et cetera. That is something that a lot of people lack, right? Because I've dated a lot in LA. He knows my past. I hide nothing from him. He's hidden nothing from me. We both know, hey, it's going to come out. Let's talk about it. But here's the thing, no matter what I had done before, is the respect that people have had over knowing me for 20 years, right? Regardless of craziness and stuff, right? Most cannot hold on to that, right? And he knows that. I stepped out of the scene for 6 years, when I was in my long relationship because of how that was. And I remember I came back, and within 4 to 5 months, I did what's considered impossible. At 41 years old, I'm booking work women in their 20s book.
When did you get out of your last relationship?
Let's see here. about 3 years ago. So he got divorced about like a year before I got out of mine. And so, during that time, we both were within certain industries, because he does do a lot in fitness as well. He has his, is like a PhD in biochemistry as well. So he has a company that caters to all the celebrities, right? Like they pay hundreds of thousands a year just for custom-made hormones, DNA testing, everything else. And so that, he's a highly intelligent man, and I love and respect that, my God. Like, but that is the thing. It's like, people, and we would laugh. He goes, these women think, oh, okay, well, I've got 1 million followers or something. And he goes, so what? Who gives a shit?
But here's the thing, and we talked about this earlier. They're by themselves, and they justify and say, "I'm okay being alone." Well, we both know that generation Y now. What generation? Even the baby boomers right now. That a lot of people are having a hard time retiring. Women are, because there's no income. They haven't saved enough money.
But that's also, I think, social media does drive that to an extent as well. People have created this whole thing, and look, I think it takes much more strength to be able to admit as an individual and a human being how somebody else and having a partner is an asset to you, right? There's a lot more strength in that, because that means that you can look at your own self, you can look at what you lack, and you can be willing and open to bring in somebody who can either help you with those things or to balance that out.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to do that because why? They think it's weakness to be accountable for your flaws, to be whatever. I know what my flaws are. I know whatever. And I am very fortunate and grateful to have attracted and brought into a partner into my life who recognizes those things, loves me still regardless, but also invests the time and energy, right, to help me to become better and to refine myself, right? And that's the whole thing. If you can't look at yourself and know what you're lacking, you're going to say, oh, I can do it only on my own. No, right? It takes a lot more strength to go, okay, these are my imperfections, my flaws, and perhaps I could find somebody that could do that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they have this distorted image of what is strength. Yes, you should be able to carry yourself. Yes, you should be able to do everything on your own. I know that I can, right? And that is something that was important to him. But I also am accountable enough and able to look at myself and be humble enough to go, hey, look, these are things I need help with. These are things I know I lack, and these are things I know I can learn from you, right? If I didn't have that quality, it's whatever. Time is very valuable. He and I both know time is the most valuable resource. And guess what? I know the value of him giving that time and that energy to me, and vice versa. I never take that for granted.
What's a good thing that advice you give young men that are coming up in the world, trying to prove their life, get a better looking girlfriend, do whatever they need to do. You talked about it from the woman's perspective.
Yes.
Let's talk about what advice you would give to men.
Is that
because they're dealing with men have it tougher now. I honestly believe they do.
Without a doubt. I think it's very important to, first and foremost, just like you mentioned, look, college, shallow, call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, back before money existed, it was always going to be survival of the fittest, meaning that a woman is going to need to find the man who can provide resources, period. That is how we have evolved as a species. Money has just taken the place of being able to hunt down and get the prey and build the hut that is going to last, right? So get over that whole thing about gold digger. Number one, make yourself an asset in the sense that you also know your value. Build up your foundation, your empire, all those things. Because if you want to create a life with a woman and a family, those are just a given. That is a must. But then know your value and your worth, right? Period. Because a man, I've dated men that are and Jen's seen it. I've dated billionaires, et cetera. And I go, God, this guy's the most boring man in the world. He's whatever. And I'm so turned off. I know they would marry me right on spy note. And I go, no, won't do it.
Right.
Why? Because that man does not understand or recognize his value in certain ways. And so therefore, to me, I'm not going to be able to receive him as a man in the same way. So having confidence, and not cockiness, but confidence and knowing and not allowing a woman to run all over you and to be, because men and women will do it both. I don't care what anybody says. They will test the boundaries in the beginning to see what they can get away with.
I believe they do that subconsciously, though.
Yes.
They don't deliberately say, I'm going to test her.
Yeah.
I think
some women do, my God. In LA,
but I think what women do is I call it the blood in the water. Mm-hmm. You give them an inch and they'll take a mile, but not intentionally. but like, okay, you know, they'll say something disrespectful and he's like, I don't want to deal with it. And then it kind of elevates. So they'll do an action or a habit and then the guy won't enforce it or put his foot down. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is it gets too far gone and then she actually loses respect.
Yes. Then that's the
right.
worst.
And vice versa. Guys do it too. You know, they do stupid things. They abuse the right of a leader.
Yes.
And act as a dictator. Right. Because I always respect my partner. And we have our time. She's Mexican. So we got the Spaniard. I'm like, you know, hey, I got gloves in the back. I'll identify as a chick. We can go, right? Yeah. But seriously, it's like she'll do things, and I'm like, you know what? You need to check your attitude. I'm not doing this. And then you know, it's like huff and puff a little bit, and it's like, you know what? She's like, okay, I was out of pocket. I'm like,
yeah. If I get that way with him and he gets that way with me,
and with me,
we admit it.
But you have to know your partner's weaknesses. Like I don't like to chatterbox in the morning. I'm an OG, old guy, original gangster. It's like, I need my coffee. Don't talk so much. Don't talk so much. And then
well, we're both the same way.
but the best part, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. And women like this. This is how they connect. They ask a lot of questions. And I feel like I'm on the witness stand. Like, what? Well, you said you left at 3:45. It was 4 o'clock. Well, I don't know, something like that. Why'd you through? It's like, stop. I'm not doing this. You're asking 21 questions in 2 minutes. Guys panic. We panic because guys is the way our thought process is. Women remember facts and data like there's no tomorrow. Women are like Ben Shapiro, right? Or Jordan Peterson. And you get a debate with them and then they start going back 6 years ago. Well, remember 6 months ago when we first dated, you told me that at Starbucks you didn't like that girl. And huh? What? Why'd you go back to her? Why'd you tip her so much? You know, and then you start panicking. And so in the morning, I'm like, okay, I need the caffeine to get to my brain.
Yes.
It needs to start working, right? The car needs to warm up. We used to warm up engines when we were younger, right? In the snow, because you're from Colorado, right? And not this push start stuff. So I think for guys, we have boundaries that we have to enforce as well.
Yes, and then that's the communication is key there, right? Like your expectations, don't be afraid to say that. Like, and if a woman is somebody that's going to fight that, then don't fight for her, right? Period. No. Know your worth and your value to that. Okay,
women,
that's it.
Women